Probably.
Okay, as always,
I
Stuart,
predict. Hold on. I predict that we're going to be live now. I've made a prediction.
and as always, guys, tell us right now if you can't hear us. If you can't hear what I'm saying, tell me that you can't hear what I'm saying. But in those words exactly, I can't hear what you're saying. Hi, Stuart. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm okay. We have not talked about this episode since Friday. At least to us. To the audience, we talked about it today.
Yes.
But we've actually had a bit of a, I feel, mentally cleansed. We haven't talked about it for most of a week, which is unusual for us. So we're back in for, although technically we're not about it, we're about the next one. So actually, we're not about that. Funny. Next episode.
Yeah.
Episode 8.
Yeah.
Stuart. Wow, we are almost near the almost finished.
Yes. Episode 8. It's called Sanctuary.
And this would have been the end of the Mandalorian season, but luckily they didn't give us just that many.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a different kind of storytelling, I think, too. But anywho, so welcome back, guys. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I've never done this before. I'm kind of shy.
Wow, be gentle on him, guys. It's his first live. He wanted to test it out, and he thought the best place would be a dedicated Star Trek ship show discussion talking about Star Trek Discovery. Very confusing. So let's wish Stuart luck for his first ever live. Okay, can we just have a pre-round of applause? There you go.
Everybody say good luck in the chat. That's your job. Build up my confidence.
But you know what? I'm going to throw you in the deep end. You're going to start talking to them. Oh my god.
No, not by myself.
And I'm going to start sharing.
Oh no, please don't.
Bye-bye. Goodbye.
Gonna get stage fright and lock up. Anyway, guys, how you doing? Welcome back. It is time to do our predictions and your predictions as well. If you have anything you want us to read or any theories you have, please put them in the chat, or feel free to send a super chat because that supports the channel. Now we got 73 people watching with 38 likes. We can do better than that, guys. Hit the like button. Let's get up to at least 50. So don't forget to hit the like button. It's very important. Because that really helps out the channel as well. So if you want to help us out in any of those good ways, you can do so. You can also send a PayPal. Just let us know in the chat that you sent to PayPal. You get demoted to Ensign Foley. No, it's this mere Foley. Yeah, anyway, so by all means, guys, check out the description of every video. There's links down there for Eagle Moss and a whole bunch of other cool stuff like Trekyards merch through the Teespring store. So go check that out and let us know what how you want to help us out, because there's many ways. Like I said, sharing the video, hitting that like button, making sure you're subscribed to the channel. You can join the channel. You can also head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. That's a monthly basis. Monthly would help us as well. And yeah, you can get yourself a rank as well if you join the channel here on YouTube with either Commander, Captain, Admiral, Fleet Admiral, or President of the Federation, who's already just showed up. Olivia's here. We have two of them, Olivia and Mark Lawrence. So welcome back, guys. And yeah, so put your stuff, your thoughts, ideas in the comments section and send a super chat if you can, so we can read out yours and talk about it, because we're going to be covering, the next time on today, and see if we can suss out what's going to happen next, well, tomorrow, tonight for some people, on the next Discovery. So Samuel's taking super long. Oh, no, there we go. Now he's back. He was taking super long and had me scared because I didn't know what to say. I was like locked up with stage fright the whole time.
I think we need to go back and change the past so he's a better host. So, someone messed something up somewhere. Because I remember in other timelines he's really good. Just don't tell the other him that. So I think we need to cut his signal, reboot the timeline, and see if he comes back. So I'm just gonna... Okay, I've cut him. I'm letting this time stream reset. And hopefully the roll of the dice will mean that the new Foley will be more interesting than the other one. So I see a red hue appearing off in the distance. I'm not sure how, because he's in Canada, but hey ho.
Are you looking the right direction?
Yeah. Well, I mean, or it's a car coming to crash into my house. I don't know. Either one. Headlights. I don't know. I mean, you know, it's not helpful if you also turn the picture off, because then I've got control of that. But okay, he's back. Yeah.
But I'm scared.
No, this is new you. New you isn't scared.
Oh,
Universe.
it's the new me?
I want the new you. That's the point. Yeah, where's Daniels when you need him? Yeah, Daniels, man.
There we go. Hi guys, I'm back. How you doing? Sorry, something happened. I don't know what, but now I'm here.
I think we're just playing loopy tonight, aren't we, Stuart?
Pretty much. It's the end of the year. Yeah.
And we're working non-stop
Lots
for
of stuff going on.
Like 18 weeks of this, every single week, non-stop. It's quite a... And then we only had, what, do we have like 9 weeks between Lower Deck, or Picard and Lower Decks, and then Lower Decks Discovery and like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the overlap. Yeah, Lower Decks, then right into Discovery, and then the Mandalorian overlap. It's like, wow. It's been busy, so...
I hope you guys join back in 2021 for the less busy content. But with your guys' support, we can do TNG, we can do DS9, we can go through that stuff and review it just as fairly and strongly as other things. Because you know what, Stuart? I've been doing, as you know, I've been building the Voyager bridge in CG. I was rewatching season 1 of Voyager because it's only like 3/4 of a season. And actually, I give that show a bit more shit about its first season than I think it deserves. There's actually some real solid season 1 episodes. Not the cream of the crop, but I always give that one a shit for having a few worse ones. But actually, I mean, the first couple, obviously, but that's with anything. There's quite a few that are actually not, like... Yeah, I think it's probably... You know, I think it'd be interesting to go back and rewatch season 1 of DS9 and season 1 of Voyager. To see, because I have predications about both, especially DS9 being a very weak first season. But I think both of us had the same about TNG until we watched it. And like, oh, wait, no. It's not as bad as people think.
Yeah. As a whole, maybe, because, you know, looking back from the perspective we're at, it's like, yeah, it's kind of crap. We should just see all of them lined up there.
Oh, Code of Honor, oh. I mean...
Yeah, but as you take it piecemeal, it's kind of like, it's not bad. I mean, it was good enough to not get canceled for its first season, so it can't be that bad. Anyway, we got some super chats.
Yes.
So let's get into those. Olivia Julius, $5. My prediction, Cap will rate this a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
We'll see.
I mean, that's a good score for Discovery. I would be happy with a 7 out of 10. I'm just saying, like, 7 is still a pretty good score.
Yeah. Sturm Von Alk, $2. I predict Burnham will cry and save the day. That's probably exactly what will happen.
Or at least 50% accurate.
Yeah, one of those two things will happen.
It's either one or both. It's not neither.
Well, that being said, she's not really in the trailer that much, so maybe not. Who knows? Maybe her and Book go off and do something, but they have Book's ship at the end, so.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Ooh, yeah. How do you put that connection together?
Yeah. It's time for the rest of the crew to shine. Fat Produce, $2.
Thank you.
I have no idea what's going on in the next episode, but we're going to talk about it, and we'll figure some things out, or at least try to.
But I think it's better than a big sense of what it is. Anything can happen. It was very unclear, but that's kind of exciting. Like, oh, something's going to happen that's important. It's like the same in Mandalorian. It's like, Ahsoka's going to be in it. Who the hell knows what else? But at least Ahsoka's going to be in it. Same with this. Something, but also what?
Yeah. Yep. KL Wong, £5. I hope we will see some ship-to-ship battles. See what the new upgrades and refit can do. I totally agree with that. We do see the Book ship flying around and causing, like, as you call them, petrol explosions on the hull, which shouldn't be a thing. Or the shields, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of annoying, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's a doesn't make sense thing.
Well,
I definitely think, I hope, and I haven't even thought that, but I do hope, the Discovery does do some sort of fighting to see its weapon capability, because the way the other ship is implied bookship. It's all pew pew, very Star Wars. I mean, it feels like a Y-wing.
Yeah.
And just like that's just start. I mean, that's
B-wing.
The Akbar, the Mon Calamari version, the long one that on his head.
Yeah, the B-wing.
Those, yeah, feels like kind of that from the side, just going pew pew. Like it needs torpedoes and phasers, not just pulse weapons. So it just feels like Star Wars.
Speaking of, I watched Clone Wars and the first 2 episodes of Clone Wars last night.
Just the first 2.
So
Of the first
I watched
season.
Watched the movie and the first 2 episodes. And then I got too tired.
Okay.
But the first 2 episodes were actually really good, so I'm really digging it so far.
But the movie's garbage, though, isn't it?
The movie was made to be episodes by the feel of it. 3 episodes, because there's like definite endpoints for each episode. But yeah, it's not the best. Because I actually watched the first 2 episodes, and I'm like, so him and Snips are already a thing. Oh, wait a minute. There's a movie before this, isn't there? So I realized that about halfway through the second episode. Then I was like, I'm just gonna go back and watch the Clone Wars thing, and so I did that. And so today I'll just start on episode 3.
Yeah, the movie is the worst Star Wars movie because it's both poorly made, childish, and a stupid story. Like its only redeeming thing is that it has Anakin, but he's also a bit of a shit, like a brat shit. But that's the thing. The Clone Wars starts childish and immature and grows to be very adult and complex. But you've got to sit through a lot of that stuff. So I'm impressed you like the first 2, although maybe your bar was lower just because of you thought, it's not going to be particularly good. And I mean, that was years ago I watched it, but I remember thinking, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, if I was, like, for pleasure, I wouldn't say watch it for pleasure, but as a research thing, it's like, yeah, it's fine. Until it gets to a certain point, then it is good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just seen some shit episodes over the years, so the first 2 here actually were kind of interesting, so... Anyway, I'm sure there'll be shit ones coming.
So there we go. Prediction of Star Wars Clone Wars Season 1, Episode 3. He thinks Anakin is going to die and Ahsoka's going to become a Jedi mistress, meaning BDSM, really complicated stuff. And we'll see if he's right. I don't think he is. But hey, that's not my prediction. It's your prediction.
Laser whips and force chains.
Lightsaber whip. Yeah. But, like, that doesn't kill...
Anywho, back on topic. Vindor, $5. Tilly will excel at first officer because the writers used a cheat code. Well, we'll see.
I think she's going to fail at every step except the science and the making people do it for the right reason. I think she's going to stumble over most things, but in a likable way. I mean, who's going to be pissy at Tilly except Stamets? So she's going to get away with more than Burnham would. Except she's the main character, so she wouldn't get away with anything. I don't know. I hopefully it won't even play much of a part because, like, Burnham as a second in command didn't play much of a part either. Like, she was already Burnham. The second in command made no difference to her power level, Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting. Tholian Ambassador is here. You can see Tholian Ambassador. See, that's the rank we don't even have for joining the channel. So
a special one-off, yeah.
With $2, I value your punctuality with your live videos. Tholians are known for valuing punctuality. You should watch our 2 videos we've done on the Tholians. One was like a special we did talking about all Tholian lore kind of thing, which was really fun. So go back and check that out. Just type in Trekyards Tholian and you'll find them. Good stuff.
What's an anniversary double bill with John Eves looking at both Tholian ships? That was fun. Yeah. So super chat guys, and of course we're only 71 likes with 158 people, and likes are very important to the algorithm, so I'd love to see at least 100 likes, and we always aim for at least 200 likes throughout the course of our live. And of course super chats are super essential to keep the channel going, as you guys know. I know who did the spiel, but put in some $5 and let us know what you think of it. Stuart, I know we just both watched this trailer. What did you think? I certainly didn't think about it until we just watched it. So what did you think having rewatched it?
Yeah, I noticed there was a decided lack of Burnham, which is nice. And some sketchy stuff going on with Georgiou, which I'm sure we're going to talk about, which is one of my original early theories that I don't know if we really talked about much when we did our talk on it, because we kind of went off on some other tangents. But I mean, I'm interested to get to that part because there's some funky stuff going on for sure. But other than that, it seems like a fun action-packed episode. You got a lot of the ship flying around and Detmer doing her thing. So I think I'm hoping for a fun kind of feel from this one. Very action-packed and fun. I don't want it to be dialogue and draying. I just want it to be boom, 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 go, go, go.
Well, we know the last couple have been cheap feeling, but like Metho Khan cheap, like they're cheap feel. So yeah, maybe they any sort of effects are expensive and we have to set up scenes. So maybe this is like they built up to this, which would be I mean a talkie lets you build character and actually lets you have fun, etc. etc. Okay, yeah. So my overall thoughts was confusion. Well, I'm not too against the confusion because I mean, I think we both got to the point where we can kind of guess roughly where it's going in a lot of them. But this one, for some reason, no. This one is like, okay, I'm not sure. I don't know. Which is kind of nice. There's a few hints, and I hopefully, if this is the point where it all starts culminating and we get these answers, then you're wondering what's going to happen in episodes 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. That's a lot left. Unless there is that secondary arc, as we've said before, maybe, if we were doing it a 2-season arc, first season is the finding out what happened with the burn, second season rebuilding the Federation. It's 2 seasons, simple, easy. But they might jump the shark a little bit and resolve the mystery next week and then go through the season with the last plot. Kind of like in season 2, where you actually revealed the Red Angel at a very specific point. Just like with season 2, where you revealed the Red Angel at a certain point with Burnham's mum, and then it kind of snowballed. The last 4 was a different sort of stories. Now it's not about who the Red Angel is, it's about defeating Control. So they've kind of got that formula. And even with season 1, it's like, you go up to the Mirror Universe, and then the Mirror Universe, then done. So that's kind of, I guess, their MO. So hopefully it's not that, but I don't know. So it's a lot of things, but just running through a forest doesn't excite me. But we said the same thing about the mine, and they did that well. The facilities that So again, they've earned a lot of benefit of the doubt stuff here, which is great.
Yeah.
But
the forest is like the least exciting part for me, honestly.
Even though it's the exciting bit.
I guess Michael and Burnham are Booker there, so
yeah, that's their.
I didn't think there was much of her in this one, so
yeah, that's their plot. But we start off with a new beauty that feels like a recycled beauty, with another with a thing in the background on the bottom left. I don't know if that's a connector to the Discovery, to fuel it or something, because it's got a deflector style for the Discovery.
Yeah. And some other views of see the Nog ship
at
Nogs. Least three times.
3 times?
Maybe maybe. Yeah, maybe just twice.
And
I thought the one underneath Discovery might be.
No, it's the other one. Then that pointy one with the 4 nacelles. And
that upper right one looks cool.
Yeah. And in fact, in this scene, the inner ring of the spore drive is charging, so they are sporing now from the inside. So I'm assuming my first going out on a limb is that, because they've teased us a few times, they are the fast response ship, but they still made a point of leaving the anomaly, leaving the non-static, non-warp, non-shell. The official name for it is non-static, non-warp, non-shell. And they jumped away as soon as they left it, and since they didn't go past camera the most sexy way, it's not as if it was such a deliberate thing of showing off the ship. So I get the sense we're going to have first scene being something either with the non-trill, I'm sorry, I haven't learned her name, it's beginning with A, but she's barely in.
Adira,
thank you. Either first will be with Adira, something building up, maybe about the upgrades again, or straight into, red alert, until he's like, oh, what's happening? And then the people on the bridge say, we're being hailed by the Admiral, put on screen. He appears on the Discovery set and is like, Commander Tilly, wait, no, Ensign Tilly. We're going to talk about that later. We need you to go to the Orion sector instantly. What? But Captain Saru is I mean, obviously Saru's going to be there, but it'd be kind of funny if it was off ship and they had to go straight away. But anyway, I think something's going to happen where they are called to instantly jump somewhere, or even see that multiple times, that they're getting overused, because maybe now the ship's actually been finally upgraded, because last week it hadn't been upgraded yet, it just finished. Maybe it's going to keep being sent and the crew's going to be a bit tired and oh my god, really, it's our 54th jump in the last 3 weeks, because obviously we're needed everywhere and it takes less than a minute to get places. What do you think?
I don't think any of that's going to happen.
Ooh.
I think we're going to start off with the space dock shot or the whatever shot, and then it's going to be right into the spore room where we found the source of the burn. They're like, all right, and they're going to go talk to the admiral. The admiral's going to say, "Do your thing,"
Yep.
and they're going to spore jump out there. I guess Michael and Book are probably going to take off in Book's ship, possibly, to investigate something on their own while Discovery deals with the ship that warps in, because I don't know what that's about yet. But I think there's going to be two side plots, and they're going to be Michael's going to continue her search with Book for the cause of the burn, and then the ship's going to autopilot back to Discovery for some reason because something happens. Because we got Detmer and the Andorian dude that's holding Grudge flying the ship later. So I think that they're going to get sent off to rescue Michael and Book while the Discovery is still dealing with the ship and the Georgiou thing that's going on. I think the ship and the Georgiou thing are connected, and yeah, I think they're going to jump to where the cause of the burn was, or the origin of the burn. That's my call.
Then why are they jumping from inside the field when we know they went outside the field last time?
Because it's different.
Oh. Okay. Fair enough. But then we get the shot from inside, and the dialogue is not what Stamets actually says because the voices match up, but that's okay.
Yes.
It just feels a bit obvious. And it's Tilly and Saru walking in, looking at a ball of something or other. What is this? Why is this? How is this? What? Well, I like the reflection on the floor. It's all digital, but I like the orange.
Yeah. This almost looks like, I don't know if I would call it a map necessarily, but I think it could either be like a huge map that's all like compressed and it's going to zoom in or something. It could be sphere data. For some reason, I get sphere data vibes.
That is an orange, has to be an orange thing, yeah?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know,
well,
because
if you want to go back and watch the clip, what's the voiceover here? Because it was all vaguely linking.
Just a second here.
And guys, hit 100 likes just there. Keep clicking like if you have not. Oh, and yeah, Emma says maybe Burnham will get her ship back. Yeah, it's not in the shuttle bay. I mean, obviously, there's obviously a secondary level to shuttle bay because they have more than one shuttle.
Well, her ship is going to be, I'm afraid, it's going to be much like Sahil. We'll never see it or hear it referenced again.
Or like Neelix's ship, it's like, it was there the whole time, trust us. It's like, what? But where did you fit it for 6.5 years? The ship's not very big. How did you fit? Okay, it's okay.
So he says, this is where the burn started. And yeah, the dialogue for Stamets doesn't line up at all.
Yeah. So maybe this is... Because this is... Okay, so this is in the spore chamber room. So you wouldn't think they would just be doing scanning stuff. Because that would normally be the bridge. So there's maybe something to do with the spore network, maybe...
Yeah, it could be the mycelial network.
Yeah, maybe really, we have to extrapolate a lot here. Maybe they do go to the burn location, and for some reason the mycelial spores starts to act up, and they have to and they let a batch go, and it flies in the air, because whatever's in the burn is connected to the mycelial network, and that's part of why it managed to destroy everything in one go. So I can imagine they might link it into their own canon. How else would you affect one thing throughout all of the quadrant? Well, you use a network that connects everything in the entire quadrant. I mean, it's not the same. I mean, I wouldn't do that. That seems silly to me because it's not the similar sort of tech. But it's weird it's in this room unless it's possibly a life form or a creature or some sort of energy. Because it feels like a hologram, but also it's so uncontrolled. And the fact that we're doing such a distant shot. Like, they've done maps often, and this doesn't look like a map. You wouldn't do it this big. You wouldn't have it in this room. So it's not going to be something normal. So maybe it's actually like a life form, kind of like the what's the Organians? Because it gives me Organian vibes. It gives me a TOS, creature vibe, space creature. And it'd be good to trick us with the the dialogue with this because you think, oh yeah, but no, it doesn't feel like a map to me.
Yeah, I don't know. It could just be like the Big Bang kind of explosion. Could be this is the beginning of the burn. It's represented somehow.
So you're saying maybe they once they get there, maybe this is the end of the episode, or maybe this is because they didn't find a fourth signal. They're still using 3. Oh wait, how did they find where the burn was from? What happened last week? Oh, okay, yeah. It was the Vulcan data.
Yes.
Okay, so they're watching the Vulcan data. This is actually a recreation of an anomaly of a subspace thing that he's obviously having to look at because he's trying to work out what happened. Maybe he's running a simulation, and yeah, maybe you see like a little spot and it explodes, and just to show the scope of the explosion of the galaxy. But the thing is, if they were already there, I would say yeah, maybe it's a big map because he wants to use the scale of the room to show this is the galaxy. The fact they're walking in feels odd to that.
Well, I still say it could be sphere data or maybe some kind of representation of Zora starting to form.
Yeah. But again, very Organian like.
Yeah. Jill47 puts in $2.
Thank you.
I predict Tilly will date her husband, the Andorian. I don't think there'll be much interaction between the two of them at all. But that's my call. So.
Yeah.
I think Detmer and the Andorian are gonna have a thing. That'd be kind of funny. James McGill, $5.
Hey, James.
It's been too long, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, my prediction is Michael enter a room, see a hooded man who reveals himself. Michael goes, "Dad?" Well, I really hope that Michael's dad isn't revealing himself to her, because that could be bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're above that, even though it makes no sense because he was killed. But it's kind of like a Batman villain. It's like, oh, no, they all died to make you who you are, but they're all alive. It's fine. It's like, yeah. but that was the formation of your character. Jesus Christ. But the next shot is the Discovery firing a beam from its lower planetary sensor dome again. I mean, now it is obviously a refitted ship. It can do whatever the hell it wants from its lower planetary sensor dome. But which one isn't now a lower planetary sensor dome? Because why would it be? We're now post TNG.
Well, this again, this could be where the source of the burn was. They are trying to recreate something, and they fire this, and then you see that ship that warps in, could be responding to what they're doing here. Which I can't believe I got a still of that ship. I didn't plan on that, by the way.
What, on getting still a ship?
Yeah.
You didn't get still a damn ship?
It's such a quick warp in.
Stuart, like, my friend, it's a ship.
Did I get one?
That's horrifying.
No, I got it. Oh, okay,
good.
But I didn't think I did because I was just doing my screen cap thing but it's how the trailers are so quick.
Okay, good.
Then I went back and checked, and yes, it's there. It's just like your thumbnail. I'm like, okay, cool.
But yeah, the implication here, I mean, obviously this planet is the cause of the burn, but it's such a boring brown planet, and why would a beam like this cause something? And also, more importantly, Stuart, it's called Sanctuary, not debornorigin.com, Sanctuary.
I think Sanctuary is going to refer to, it's going to take reference to the Georgiou story.
Oh, okay.
Which could be the ship, but we'll get to the Georgiou story in a second. But I think that's gonna be that part of the story, not going to have anything to do with the burn and the main investigation.
Whereas I would think it would be that when they sport the planet where they think the burn is from. I'm going to say that isn't. I'm going to think they're going to be wrong, or like just another part of mystery. That there's a settlement there, and it's a peaceful place, and they haven't seen conflict in 120 years, and I think that's going to be part of it. This could be the perfect place to live, etc. Kind of what you don't expect vibe. It's like, but how did these people in these huts cause a galactic-wide burn? Well, did they? No. Might they have? I don't know. What? Why?
Well, now that you said that, for some reason, Pavo popped into my mind from season 1, because we see the planet with the trees and the almost like Avatar stuff floating
Yeah.
in the
Oh
air.
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that could be the sanctuary they're talking about actually. Um,
Oh, that'd be
hmm.
disappointing if their subplot is Burnham. Yes, honey. Need you to help me with another endangered animal. Okay, that's just as important as the burn. Sure, see ya, Discovery. Because right now you've said that, I'm just like, oh, is that going to be the?
Oh, you think? Oh,
Well, I mean, she's not wearing Starfleet uniform, so it's a, you know.
it's an unsanctioned mission. Go figure.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like that one must be sanctioned. Oh, we'll get there in a minute because there's
Yeah.
much there. But I obviously I just wish this planet isn't the location. I wish there's more to it. I want it to be a bit more of a, you know, because well, that said, and we said this previously. If the Vulcans and Romulans, smart racers, the dude in the middle during the conversation, we are convinced that we are the cause of the burn. That then there's evidence inside the data that says that. So the writers have to now think of a way of making it completely concrete that it started on Vulcan, that tricked all the Vulcan scientists, and now the few people on Discovery are the ones that have to prove the entire Vulcan government wrong. Obviously, Michael Byrne will be the one to solve that mystery because she's smarter than the entire Vulcan people and Romulan people. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully they'll the only way you can remake that work is if they use like a 22nd century, 23rd century, technique that has long been since forgotten, etc. But what is the data going to say? If I haven't, what if this is still bloody Vulcan?
Mm.
Hmm.
Well, Liam says, I don't think the burn will be on this planet. It's supposed to be Book's planet. I think the comment, we now know where the burn started, will happen at the end of the episode.
Book's planet?
Could be. Could be.
What makes things Book's planet? I mean, he's from a different quadrant, so they have to. Would they really want to leave Burnham months away or years away at warp? Really? Don't think they necessarily want to do that.
But then we see Tilly, and the line of dialogue over that is, so now we have a point of origin. And she's looking at the same star chart or whatever map thing that they were looking at before in engineering, or the spore room, sorry.
Yep, exactly. Huh. And then we have.
And then we got, hold on. Something or someone is definitely sending it for the next bit of dialogue, and that's with this signal.
Music. It says music.
Oh,
Okay, so they're gonna follow up because you can see all three of the things that
the waveforms all match up.
No, I mean you can see all three of the things on the right, so they're linking the signals to the destruction. But it says music from something.
Yeah, and then like 2 frames later, you got the combined signal and distortion, where it like overlays on top of each other.
So maybe the signal of the burn somehow matches the exact resonance frequency of the music, and it's like, oh.
Well, we've been saying that since the song came up, that the song is going to be what caused the resonance.
But it's yes, but no, that makes no sense in any way. It's more a case of someone was able to go back in time and put the signal of the burn into these cultures so that the cultures had songs which are then a warning and giving them like, it's a clue. Once you have time travel, you always have time travel. And as we said, Michael Burnham's mum's time suit is still out there, and time crystals shouldn't be that hard to get. And Michael Burnham's suit could not have been destroyed or self-destructed, so that could also be out there somewhere in the past, present, or future. Who knows? But I guess we are going to get heavy music reference again, which is definitely odd. But this feels like the same scene as the other one where they came in. So maybe we could get a big exposition dump about the signal and. But who's going to make a connection with the music though? Unless Burnham starts by saying, the data. How would you make that connection from data through subspace from Vulcan satellites to a song?
There's going to be some like boop, boop, boop in the transmission or something when they're looking at it that's going to sound. It's going to spark your thing like, ooh, that sounds like the music. Do this and do that, and boop, then you get the matching waveforms and shit. Would be my guess.
Okay, so maybe you'll get a moment kind of like the humpback whales, where it starts off. Well, do this, and this. And it cuts to the whales. So I can imagine that being kind of fun if then if then they say either here or on the bridge, we have a scan of the original moment of the burn because that's what happened. They got scanned of that, and then but it has a weird audio signature. Play it, and it's just garbled, and they say refine it, do this, and suddenly it has a melody, and I guess that. But then the chicken and the egg is the song resonance. I'm not gonna call melody. Is it actually in the burn because it's assigned to who caused the burn is the song, or is it that whoever caused the burn put the song in on purpose / use that as a template? So is it more a case of once you can track down where the song comes from, you track down who did the burn, or what the song means, or that the song is a message telling you,
My brain hurts.
Original from... It looks like Varion Nebula to me. And then music from the Seed Ship. Yeah, music from the Seed Ship. Music from Orion...
from Gray's cello.
Yeah,
Gray's cello.
Okay. So what's the first one?
Music from...
No, they don't say the first one's not music, it's original.
Oh, from something Nebula.
I love that. Gray's cello. That's legitimately a thing on the screen. It's Gray's cello. Wow.
Yeah.
So maybe they jump to a nebula and they hear it as well.
Well, some space phenomena and have sounds. Yeah. So.
Okay, so maybe it's not the planet. Maybe they spore in all the way around. Maybe they spore into the place, and it's just like, and they don't know what's there. It's empty space in one nebula, and like, oh, but where's the mechanicalness to do it? But it would imply that whatever caused the burn moved because it's some artificial thing. It was here, but actually there you go. That makes sense. So there you go. The burn was caused by a spaceship that was at a place in space, happened next to a nebula because there are nebulas everywhere, caused the burn. The signature of the burn then picked up the resonance of the nebula. That went everywhere. Because dilithium exists in subspace, it was rippled through time because it was such a big energy phenomenon. Because it did that, the resonance went into all these cultures. And it does show you, yes, the burn started at this nebula. Can we track down the signature of the ship that was here 120 years ago? Yes, there's this thing, and this one mineral was only designed and built at this one planet. Let's jump there, Vroomp, and they get there. That's why I'm gonna say maybe even that initial glowy thing is the nebula, and they're like scanning the nebula, and they pull from it the signal. What do you think?
I would buy that.
It's pretty logical. And it'd be a fun anti-climax.
Yeah.
The first thing is, we found the coordinates, we're going to jump you there. Everyone's like, okay, battle stations, full shields, red alert. Anything there? Nope. Oh.
Tim McCaffrey, maybe they have to leave disco in the nebula. Oh.
No, yeah.
Maybe it's an anti-time nebula.
And generation, all good things. Ooh, that's Stuart. That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
You start here, you go back in time.
And it's somehow linked to the burn, so...
Like I say, a ship caused a burn. It piggybacked off the resonance of the nebula. That's the signal. Oh.
Well.
That's cool.
Well, based on the next super chat, let's move into the next part with Georgiou and start talking about that. Christian Montgomery puts in $2.
Dang.
Georgiou is a synth made of programmable matter.
Whoa!
Yeah, that was one of the theories that I kind of had when she first broke the communicator. That either she was replaced as a hologram or programmable matter synth, which I like, and that's why she hasn't been acting herself. The real Georgiou is still off with glasses guy. Doing something or being tortured or trying to find a way back to the Terran universe. So this one is, and maybe the signal or the song from the nebula disrupts the programmable matter. Maybe that's why Discovery looks like old Discovery when it's in the nebula, because all the programmable matter they used to refit the ship goes away, and
that could also be why they,
that's a stretch.
Well, no, what it isn't. It isn't. That could be why they actually, started the burn there, because no one can. You can't take, if all the ships are made of this matter, and oh dear, the matter is something that destabilizes quickly. I mean, yeah, makes sense. I can buy that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like going to the Mutara Nebula.
Maybe.
If you know your weapon doesn't, you don't need targeting sensors.
Maybe like I said, it's an anti-time nebula. So the burn is actually, so it's going back in time. It's the creation of dilithium. They have to do something that causes the catalyst of the creation of dilithium 120 years in the past, which goes back in time. So they can, all these species become spacefaring. They needed the dilithium that doesn't exist.
So what you're saying is Michael Burnham will have to be energized with dilithium particles, and she does this, and then her energy goes out into the anti-nebula, and she activates the dilithium. Michael Burnham not only saves the entire universe once, but also gives the entire universe dilithium and entire space travel. That is, I mean, Discovery will do that. She's the most important being in all of creation. I mean, come on, guys.
Could be.
I want to see some $5 on Michael Burnham being the most important person in creation. I mean, if you create dilithium with your own body, I mean, it's pretty important. But that's interesting, and that's.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, jump in.
I was just gonna say, but yeah, I was just trying to tie in what's happening in the nebula with what's going on with Georgiou there for a second. I just kind of went.
Well, I don't think it's going to. I think that's completely separate. But I love your idea there. But that's a great idea, and I'll jump into that. I think, assuming they're separate for a second, the idea of the dilithium going back in time is fun, because then you've got this. That's why also it starts to get less of it near the focal point. But I like that. Yeah, we have to kind of reverse Big Bang, and now is just our time. We have to sacrifice the present to save the past. To help us to get to the present.
Sacrifice the present and the future to make all this possible, because otherwise we wouldn't have never had space travel.
Yeah. But also there are races before dilithium, and there are races that don't use dilithium, and so it's just a matter of time to work out. Like the spore drive, and there are still dilithium around. So it's not as if no one can FTL. It's just the size of the Federation and such make it doable. But then in Discovery's doing everything in the universe. It's like, I know the ego on these people is huge, but to start the universe's warp travel, I mean, that's so in character for them. But what a horrifying thing to do. It's cool though, but it's horrifying.
Joshua 11345, $5.
Thank you.
Do the comm badges work telepathically? Because how do they know where to take the participant when they tap the comm badge? Yeah, I wondered that myself. Like, you think of a destination and tap it. Maybe I wouldn't put it past 900-year-old technology or 900-year advanced technology.
Yeah, I mean, it'd have to be. You are right. But it's like, we've often said, they odd times they say computer Voyager beam me, want to beam up. It's like, who? Or
yeah,
thingy to the ship, and someone else, sometimes there are some situations where the writer doesn't give the full line dialogue, where it's like, well, how does the computer know where to move your call, where to transport you, where to scan you? It's like, So yeah.
Danny Shields, €10.
Ooh.
I think I've said this before, but I think the song is a harmonic resonance pattern of a subspace frequency that caused the burn, and that would allow them to pinpoint the origin. Yep.
Except it has to go back in time to thousands of or hundreds of races. So that's the only problem with that, though. It's got to go back. That's why I think it's a message that somebody.
But see, we could send it. Discovery could send the song back through the mycelial network, all over the universe and through any point in time. So they're responsible for putting the song out there to warn people about the burn or something. That's going to tie in somehow like that.
Well, the warning failed. I mean, what's the thing there? Having rewatched season 2 a little bit, they talk about time being fluid, and it's like, if you get to this future, why would you not go back in time to stop the burn? Like, every life that is dead because of it that you could save with a ship that can go anywhere in the galaxy and through time, I mean, okay, you have to do some clever stuff to make it go back in time, but it's like, is that not worth doing? You know, I mean, Endgame, Janeway saved her people. You know, she did bad stuff for the rest of the quadrant in terms of Pug, but you know, you can change the time. Why has no one thought to change the berm? You know, time tech once designed can never be undone. It can only be suppressed. Wouldn't you think of doing that? You know, but maybe after a temporal war, everyone was like, okay, whatever happens, however many people die, that's fine because time is too important to change. But you know, and maybe they do. Maybe at the end of the story they do go back and change the burn and stop it. I mean, think about it. They also saved the entire universe from control. So why is saving the universe from losing dilithium not less bad of a thing? Like, it's still saving people. If you can change one, why can't you change both? Two alternate features you just change from the course of history. I mean, what's the difference? There isn't a difference, really. Except it undoes Season 3 Discovery, but obviously you still had the story, you know.
Yeah. Damn. Danny Shields, €5.
Thank you again.
Oh dear, what can the matter be? Sturm von Alk, $2. Burnham will ascend and become a benevolent crying Q. Or a panda. No, not a panda, koala bear. Yeah.
Oh my god, what? Yeah, she ascends and she becomes the koala. The universe now rests on her shoulders. And then all we do is we cut to a scene where that young guy from Lower Decks talks to Michael Burnham. And it's like, holy shit. The crossover we've all been waiting for. God Burnham, the koala, and that guy. I don't remember his name. That one guy.
That's good. All right.
Laughable Larry says, it's not fair to stop Burn and going back in time. What about all the people who were born and lived on trees after that happened? Laughable Larry, what about the 500 trillion that died during the burn? What all their future kids? Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. 120 years versus hundreds of trillion lives. Sorry, there's no competition. You know, yes, you might know a few of them, but I couldn't live with myself if I didn't save a few billion to kill 1,000. Sorry, it's too, you know, it's not okay. You know?
Yeah.
And what's funny is they then have the advanced discovery. They can give the technology to their post-burn cell, post-burn reality, and then, you know, cool.
Yeah. Anyway, Georgiou, she's on the bio bed. We got an X-ray of her. We can see the internal. Got her brain scans. And then she's decompiling in the next two shots. Like, really weird.
Very weird.
Ooh, well, scientifically speaking.
The technical term, obviously.
Well, that's that scene with Tilly, though. That's, I think, back in the spore room looking at the thing, because Saru's still beside her. But anyway. But her line of dialogue at this point that's weird, technically speaking.
Oh, yeah. But let's talk about replicable matter thing for a second. So absolutely, it does have that sort of vibe. It's very bitty, but also watery. I can imagine, you know, matter sort of forms in a liquidy. So absolutely. Now, it could obviously be a link to control. They explicitly say he's not in the season. You know, maybe there was a few control nanites in her body. Says the one guy reactivate them for study, and then, you know, but let's not do that, obviously. But whatever. But I mean, if she's replaced with a replicant, maybe.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think they never got her back from the debriefing. I think she's with the other guy, whether by choice or not. But she was either replaced by a hologram or programmable matter, by Section 31 or whoever, or. And I don't want this to be the thing. You know where she broke the comm badge? She's like, here, play with it. And she broke it. She took something out and using the holographic technology to do something of her own accord, which I would call total bullshit on, because it's 900-year advanced tech. So I don't think, first of all, that he would have gave it to her if there was any possibility of that, or that she's capable of doing it. Although she could decompile the other holograms by blinking somehow. But so I don't think it's a Georgiou plan. I think she is. She was never returned to Discovery, and it's going to have something to do with the whole getting back to the Terran Empire. because the other guy was a Terran fanboy, and they might be looking at a way to maybe cross over to get dilithium from the mirror universe to solve their problems.
We mentioned that before, yeah.
Yeah,
But they've barely even mentioned the mirror universe.
True.
You know, I mean, they've started to bring it back in. Although I want to address Happiness Gnome says hundreds of trillions didn't die in the burn, just people in transit. I mean, you understand that. I just did some math. If in the 2400s in TNG DS9 we had at least 1,000 ships, at least 1,000 people on a lot of those ships, that's 1 million people just in that era. I mean, there's going to be at least 1 million starships in transit because the galaxy is huge.
We're talking of all races, even ones that aren't members of the Federation.
Shuttles, space, millions and millions of ships, millions of people combined, plus warp cores mainly. It mounts up. This is the mega future. I mean, a lot of it's a lot of, and think about it, everyone that's stranded, all the cultures that have to completely rebuild the society because they've lost all their ability to do trade. I mean, it's the repercussions of it. Imagine losing all, if you lost all the ability to have fossil fuels, people would starve because they couldn't get food quick enough. So societies collapsed and broke down, and people died because of it, directly because of it. You stop that, you save all their lives, and boom, you've got several hundreds of trillions. Especially if the burn also was the Gamma Core. How many Dominion forces? I mean, Jum Hadar, but how many of those people died? How many? It's hundreds of trillions.
Tell it to Janeway, who went and changed the past to make an alternate future. So all the people that were born in that alternate future are screwed now, but they're not, because they all still exist in another future. Because each time you change something, as we saw in Parallels, there's a continuation of that timeline. So you're fine. You're just creating a new one and actually making a lot more lives.
Yeah.
Or different lives, anyway.
Yeah. But in terms of the mirror thing, I could see there hasn't been a crossing in 100, 200 years, but because
500 years.
Oh, there you go. But because this Terran is so original and pure, they can use the signature of her transition to the universe as a way of building a bridge, and the bridge where they can then nick some dilithium. Problem is, though, since they can go to the mirror universe for hundreds and hundreds of years, they go to many universes that are closer. They're also dilithium, so I do not doubt that alternate universe traveling is easy. So just being mirror for the sake of it doesn't necessarily add too much. Being replaced also, like, that would completely undo last episode's her being better. So maybe it's just the cure. Maybe the cure is not going well on her, but the amount of it's so radical. Or maybe she gets infected by something else. Maybe she's.
Well, maybe she's affected by the same thing that caused the burn. So what's happening to her body is basically what happened to the dilithium. Destabilizes, becomes inert, and then I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but let's see. Danny Shields, though, €20. Wow, thank you very much. Alternatively, the burn is the result of Cardassian voles, and the resolution of all of this is Miles Edward O'Brien's extensive notes on vole extermination, leading to his being the most important member of Starfleet in history. Yes, it's very important.
Gosh.
Wolfsbane Network, $5.
Thank you.
My theory is that the burn was caused by the blue planet with the crystal transmitter from season 1. That'd be Pavo, but yes.
Now that's interesting. Caused by it.
Well, it was a huge resonant, like a huge, what do you call it?
Radar,
amplifier.
Sodar.
Yeah.
In space. That's actually interesting. I mean, it's an okay planet. But that could be kind of, using your own canon is very important. And wouldn't that be, although, is it, well, actually, let's go back for 1 second. Let's say it is Pavo, and let's cut to the shot where we see the creatures. Let's say it is Pavo. Let's say that they get the Traination and burn, and everyone's like, Lucy Chan says, that's Pavo, and then Book's like, where? And they explain why. And when they explore there, the planet is now black, brown, because it was originally whatever, and the energy used to create the burn on the planet destroyed the ecosystem partially, which would make sense. That's why it's not the green lush, but there's still life there. And because Burnham was the only one that was on the planet, she kind of understands the creatures slightly, and so that's why she's gone down with whatever. So she's gonna try and communicate with the life forms on the planet, while the Discovery stays in orbit and does scans, and then the Orion people come in and cause trouble because they know exactly about where the burn started for years, and they're watching it. What do you think? If it is just Pavo that caused it?
I honestly don't know, man.
But why would Vulcans think it was them then? If it came from a very
It was
obvious
just,
source.
yeah, that's the thing.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
yeah.
Unless they unless the Romulans, without meaning to, the resonance of their sort of transwarp-esque gates was the same as the Pavo explosion, and that's why they thought it was the same. So it's not that they have the source. They don't think it matters where the source is. They think that, you know, just activating this network caused something, and then maybe that's another signal. It's like, why would the Vulcans use a song that they don't have resonance? Who the hell knows why? That's, you know.
Danny Shields, though, €5.
Thank you.
Saru had a psychic connection with the Pavo aliens. I like the potential for storytelling there. Yeah. Organians got really annoyed. Yes.
Well, it would be fun to you know, have some. I mean, it would be kind of fun to have a Q appear in this version of the future. Be like, you really darn screwed up, didn't you? Actually, you know how cool it'd be if Q takes Picard into this future, and it's just like just appears one day. So it's like, see, Picard, this is what happens when you don't listen to me. And Burnham's like, because she doesn't know who they are, does she? It's like, who are these guys? And it's like, who's she? Oh, she's Michael Burnham. She's the savior of the universe. What? Nothing.
Jesus Christ, no. No.
Well, you could kind of do that. You could do a future version, and if you actually imagine if you also like de-aged Patrick, put him in TNG again, and then like, yes, he was once brought into this future. Because honestly, I could go as far as to say that Qs can see multiple futures because they're not linear.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, exactly.
if she wanted to take them into, if you wanted to take her into an alternate future, just could. Wouldn't be too much of an issue.
But then we get this ship, which warps in, and we see it looks like it's launching something in one of the.
Ooh, do you think?
I don't know.
Well, it's shooting the weapons at least.
Then we got Book's ship with Detmer piloting it, and the Andorian guy, friend of Book's, sitting back there as well.
Which is nice to see. Because we were wondering who's going to be originally, but yeah, it's good. Good that he's here. Now, she is obviously the pilot, so whatever Discovery's doing, I wonder if it spores out or if it does a spore maneuver. Although you wouldn't think this ship could do anything against this big ship, so I'm wondering maybe it's just to try and piss them off. Although it's a very like when they do close-ups of this ship, it feels like Star Destroyer-esque, just no detail except just like plates and all grey. It's like it's just a Star Destroyer. Like I don't think it's gonna be a very good-looking fight. You know, it ain't no Vulture or Borg. Well, Borg Cube even is somewhat dull when you actually watch those fights. But what do you think of the ship then? I mean, the ship does warp in, or at least something's in, and we see on the view screen, and I'm just going to call it, I think pretty blatantly, this is the lady that we've been talking about for the last many episodes. This is the leader of the Orions, this emerald chain.
The emerald chain.
The lady, whatever her name is, because I think the dude in the prison cell is the guy that we saw a few episodes ago, or 2 episodes ago, who's like been put in prison because she let her, you know, one of her, you know, camps of salvage get put together. So I think it's absolutely is her. Like we're going to be introduced to the actual primary villain of the entire show.
Interesting.
Because they're explaining why is she here? Well, because she knows this is the source of the burn, etc.
Maybe. Should be said too that Detmer's on the bridge at this point. She's in her seat.
Yep. So they don't fight yet. There's also a ship in the frame at the bottom that doesn't look like the other ship, in my opinion.
Oh, I think it does.
Oh no, it does. It's just a really weird angle. Okay, yeah, it's just different. But I mean, does this look like an Orion ship to you?
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. It's certainly not very good looking though, is it? It's very like
no.
Sort of Star Destroyer meets Millennium Falcon meets you know, ship to steel tech. Although, okay, no, it is. Maybe do you think they're actually? Maybe you think they maybe somehow before they warped out. I know that would be bookship. So it'd be kind of fun if they managed to put it's like Mandalorian put a tracking device on the spore ship because they worked out. Because if you're doing a time jump, maybe the Emerald Trains worked out that okay, what the hell is this ship that keeps finding us in different quadrants in the same day? How is that possible? And so they managed to track it down, and it's like the Packlet ship. You know, it's designed to take apart ships. That's why it's got the pincers because you meant to go between them. Vaguely the vibe I'm thinking of, but I don't know.
I have no idea. Honestly. So you got to tie this in. I'm wondering if all these things tying together. The Georgiou thing, the ship, her, the song, or if it's all just ABC storylines or whatever. Like I'm just trying to piece together in my mind what all these could be, and I'm just drawing a blank at this point because my mind's broken. I'm gonna read a super chat.
Please do. Please super chat away.
Judge 1981, $5.
Thank you.
Captain, sensors indicate we need more likes no matter what century we are in right now, and engines need a boost. At your discretion, sir.
More power, Captain. More power.
284 people watching, 167 likes. Guys, hit that like button if you haven't. We can hit 200 likes easily. So that's the goal. Hit 200 likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. And Chili Bina puts in $5.
Thanks.
If this is Osira, she doesn't look like an evil gang leader. Maybe there's something else going on, eh?
Sure. Yeah, nice sort of gentle look. But we do get Burnham on the planet with a rifle, although the way the rifle she's got looks to me like gives me
it's like a shotgun.
Exactly, like a rustic shotgun. So I can imagine maybe if this is the Sanctuary, these guys don't like military. And in fact, this guy has been shot by a bow and arrow.
Yep. It says got an arrow in his chest.
Although I quite like his rifle though.
Yeah. It's the same one that Michael has.
Yeah. Like it. So if this is Sanctuary, maybe she does go to the planet and then I don't know, that's weird. It's very weird.
I got nothing. I really got nothing for this. Because later we see somebody in some kind of prison cell. And then a weird ring.
I think that's an Orion. That's the cousin, the nephew. Like she.
Think so?
Oh yeah, I think it was him from the like. I think I saw it in the screen caps. But
got
like,
the ring on an Orion finger that she pushes the button.
Very Ming the Merciless.
And
I destroy you.
Something firing out of the ship. And that's a very Star Wars looking ship.
Oh, the rifle fires bow and arrow bolts. Oh,
nice.
Not even a separate gun, just the rifle fires. Well, that's but like an energy one. It comes out like a blast. Well, that's unusual.
Wolfsbane Network, $2. Alternate burn theory, Packlids.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they tried to enhance dilithium because they thought they were smart enough.
Yeah.
James McGill, $5. Discovery 3 has been a fun ride so far. However, in the end, I ask you guys, should the crew of Discovery return to their past or should they stay? I think they should stay in the future. 1,000 times yes. Unless they're going back in time to fix the timeline and make it look like TOS should.
But either way, they wouldn't be able to... like, they know too much. Like, they couldn't. I mean, it's not practical. Because imagine if they did go back to their own century. Like, do you not think they've messed up the timeline enough in the pre-TOS era? Says no on time suits, holograms, cloaking devices. I mean, are you kidding? That's stuff they've introduced in the show. Keep them out of the past. Remember, this is one possible future.
Yeah.
The fact that Season 2 of Discovery shows you can change the future means this is a future, not the future. Otherwise, the future was the control future, because that was the future. But they changed it. Because that's what you do, like time travel and such. Etc, etc.
Damien Dennehy throws in €10.
Ooh, thank you.
Thoughts on why disco spins? From an art book, I needed to be able to pose as a Klingon D7 battlecruiser. The donut in the middle of the saucer would have become the head of the D7. Crazy.
Yup.
What book is that?
It's the Eagle Moss designing Discovery. It wasn't in the individual magazines, but it was in the bigger one. I also didn't know that until someone told me that separately.
That's sad.
It is, because that means that Brian Fuller told them to design it to have a D7 look, and then it got lost in translation. And so you wonder why people compared it to D7 early on. This is why I made that comparison in an earlier video, saying, yeah, sometimes one thing fucks up early and it just keeps on being fucked.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, Damien. That's a book worth going through, because you can only censor the shitty past of Discovery so much. You know, the awful art design, the awful production, like, without just lying, you know? It's like, I always refer to Insurrection. There's an interview with Marina Sirtis on a you know, at the time press junket saying, "Oh, I think it's our best movie yet." And hard cut to her at a convention in 2016 saying, "Yeah, it wasn't good, was it?" And everyone laughs. It's like, well, because one, you're being paid by CBS to say it's good, and the other, you're long since not. So, you know, can't wait for those exposés 20 years later saying, "Wow, it was a real clusterfuck."
Justin Mears, $5.
Thank you.
Bet the Orion Syndicate caused the burn. Then they did their nefarious shenanigans to mislead the Vulcans, freaking space pirates. I can see them being responsible for it, honestly, to just create the trade that they have now, like that whole system. It's kind of brutal, though, really.
Tearing down the old empires so you can have your own. Especially be kind of fun if they, when they warp in, they're like, "Sir, they warped in, but it's weird. What do you mean?" "Well, they've got dilithium, but it's nothing like I've ever seen before. Our scans are weird, because it's just like some, like, you know, organic healing dilithium. You know, they maybe even in finding the solution to the burn, they cause the burn, and so maybe, like, literally it's maybe the thing they cause on this, maybe even this is the planet." You know, they had science experiments on this planet. They created a new type of dilithium, which ended up breaking all the other dilithium, or well, not all of it, because there's still loads left. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty terrible to do, but I always prefer it being an accident.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can cause a like spike burn.
Ooh.
And everybody hit that like. We're still looking for 200. We have 290 people here, which means you should be able to hit 250, but I'm just asking for 200. We need another 14 likes. If you haven't hit like, consider hitting that like button. Really appreciate that. Christian Montgomery, $2. Rifle shoots programmable matter projectiles. I love that. That is a fantastic idea. Make it whatever you want. Yeah.
I mean, a little bit God's weapon, although obviously you can't programmable matter an energy beam, because that's not, like...
No, it would have an energy beam side and then the programmable matter side. So you can have arrows, bullets, whatever, but it's only a certain amount of it's not really a god weapon then.
No, yeah.
You only got a certain amount of programmable matter. You got to go retrieve them.
Well, I mean, this is why the T-1000 isn't a god thing, because all you can do is blunt instruments. If you can make a laser weapon, that's different. So I'm saying, yeah, it'd have to be only physical matter-based things, like a bullet or a crossbow bolt.
Or have two barrels.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
In the body.
Or, I mean, or one barrel that has, like, a ring that sends out the matter. I mean, it could be, you know...
Yeah. Stephen Burnside, £5.
There you go.
2303. Stephen Burnside's the Emerald Chain deliberately provokes a response from Discovery by attacking the worm planet to capture the spore tech.
Oh,
okay.
Well,
there you go.
Instantly responding, yeah.
So this is one of the sanctuary planets where the worms are. Okay, that makes sense for the name Sanctuary. Attacking, looks like they're being fired at from orbit, and the last two stills there. And yeah, I would see that the Orion, like, if word got out about the spore drive, like I said at the beginning of all this, Discovery's going to have a target painted on its back, either for the spore tech or for the dilithium that they have on board. So I like that. And
because it's
I guess that from the ready room then.
Well, that's why I said at the start, the instant response thing makes sense based on the format, and yeah, that's certainly good, especially if it's like a sneak attack. And then you've also got, because it's nice if they can triangulate the burn, but they then got to deal with emergencies, they can't go there. That pushes it down the line a bit more and lets you focus on it. But by doing this, you get to introduce the villain. You get to show the Discovery in action, which is kind of cool. Maybe you get to, well, I see Book do his thing. I mean, that's that's fun in itself. And then, but then why? If Book and Burnham just go down, just to do what though? Like, so say that's the scenario. Why they're the only ones going down? Is Detmer dropping them off? Is she piloting it because she's a better pilot than Book? Even though you'd assume Book would be a better pilot because he knows his own ship. But was she the second choice? But then you wouldn't discover any good
Maybe
pilot.
Maybe just all four of them went down because they were having a double date. Like I said, she's dating the Andorian. Book and Burnham go off and do their own thing, and the other two stay on the ship to get it on. And anyway,
yeah.
Danny Shields, €5.
Danny, man, you're killing it today. Wow.
Zara did say that the burn was the best thing that ever happened to me in episode 2. So maybe that does point towards the Emerald Chain having involvement. Yeah, absolutely. That line seemed a little suspicious to me as well.
Well, yeah. Well, especially if, I mean, can you imagine if there was like a crime-wide alert saying, turn off your warp engines today? That's all you have to do. Burn happens, your dilithium is fine, because it hasn't exploded, and maybe you're at a, ooh.
Let's see here. Fleet Paw Swiftback throws in $2. Never fear, Fleet Paw's here. We hit 206 likes. Awesome, guys. We're at 214 now. Let's go for that 250 goal still. So if you still haven't hit like, please hit that like button.
And Devereaux points out, yes, you can go to warp, just don't plan on getting there anytime soon. Yes, you can warp without dilithium, but at low warp speeds, like, like, do you really think those mining planet, like the Mars colony mining people had dilithium? No, they probably didn't. They're probably just using low non-dilithium warp drives or sublight to get, like.
Yeah, I can't get home, sweetie. I'm sorry. I won't see you for another couple of weeks. Remember that on Picard? The Mars worker calling his kids, saying he can't make it back to Earth, which is probably literally a transporter pad away. Like solar system relay stations.
Yep.
Like, seriously, that was just dumb beyond dumb.
Well, I mean, that entire short was a garbage, really. I mean, we railed on it. I mean, I think we spent the first hour railing because everything about it was bad. Apart from how it was shot.
Yeah. Stephen Burnside, £5.
Thank
the
you.
Terran universe, the Empire fell, and DS9 crossovers are behind the burn. I could see some kind of tie-in like that. Might be good. They try to reopen a rift to our universe, and that's what caused the burn. And the guy that came through, one of them was the guy that was debriefing Georgiou.
Or like his granddad, and therefore you have like, well, I'm 1/6 Terran. That's why I'm a fan of them.
Yeah.
Although
exactly.
it'd be kind of, I mean, I didn't like the fact that we lost the Terran Empire in DS9. Like the stories are fine, but like that was the interesting thing about it, not the fact they're evil, the fact that you get this cool like anti-Federation. So if they want to re-establish it, in the 3100s, the new Terran Empire came about, and Georgiou's like, damn, and they were like, you know what, we're gonna bomb the Federation. Why? Because we haven't seen them in 500 years. We're just gonna bomb them. It's like, okay, fair enough. And they call it.
That'll teach him for not coming to visit.
Yeah. No bloody postcards in 432 years. Oh.
Raverbane puts in $10. Thank you very much.
You.
In the past, it's been mentioned about Vance and Zara's age in relation comments they made about the burn. Perhaps they are Elorian and were there. Admiral Vance and Zara. I don't think so.
No.
There might be something with Vance. Like I can see some underlying thing with, unfortunately, behind that character, which is a shame because I really like the character. But I'm thinking not at this point, and nothing like them being a Lorian.
And besides, I wouldn't want one president, one head of Starfleet for 200 years. I mean, talk about stagnant. No, he was not alive with the burn, but he deals with it every second of every day through being an ensign, a lieutenant, a commander, a captain, an admiral, a fleet admiral, CNC. Every day is
He joined Trekyards on all the levels.
Week after week, yeah. Quickest promotion in history. Although, quick through my Sage of Games, he says, here's the big purple crystal elephant in the room. Why in the hell can't they use programmable matter to make some lithium and recrystallizer?
Because the lithium is one of those things that can't be replicated because it's got innate properties that cannot just be replicated. They can recrystallize it, but you could probably only do that so many times, and then it starts to break down, like a copy of a copy.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't replicate it one way, what makes you think you can replicate or matter it? Like, some things can't be just cloned with technology, and that's good. That's good, It's like you can't make a perfect diamond artificially because there's little tells. Might be almost there, but it's not.
That's the problem. You can't make a perfect diamond artificially, but no diamond in nature is perfect. And if they're close to perfect, that's why they're more valuable, right? So.
Yeah, and besides that would be boring. I mean, it's already a god sort of tech anyway. That's why we've got to give it limitations. Luckily, they haven't overused it yet, which has actually been quite remarkable. They haven't overused it. I mean, they overused the Picard tech in one usage. The ship's too dead. Fixed. It's like, oh, for God's sake. But this somehow isn't being overused. That's that is good. That's well done them. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eugene, 200 rubles. Can we still consider a hypothesis? Federation is actually evil and did cause the burn. I mean, yeah, I can still see them doing that. I don't want that to be the case, obviously, but it's one of those things that you've kind of put out of your mind now that that's a possibility. So yeah, I can see them bringing it back up and it being the cause, but I don't want that to be a thing.
Well, I mean, the big question, if you say they're baddies, then the burn was intentional. If it was intentional, what the Federation had got to gain? They lost, 36 member worlds from 600. They're down to, 5% of the originals? I mean, they lost everything. What would there be to gain? They lost everything. I mean, they have no fleet. They have no ships.
I didn't hear any of that because you cut out. You said they lost 30... What?
Sorry, yeah, I mean, yeah, assuming if you say the Federation are evil, that means they caused the burn deliberately. So what do they have to gain? They went from 600 planets to 30 planets. They lost almost all their fleet.
300 planets.
Okay, yeah.
They only had 350 at the height or something like that.
Remember, yeah. I mean, they lost almost everything. What would they possibly have to gain by causing the burn? I mean, to be evil and do it deliberately, you've got to gain something, and they've lost everything. So how could you
Maybe they tried to... They were trying something and accidentally caused the burn, and then as a cover-up, because they didn't want to admit that they screwed up and basically set the whole galaxy back, that they've been covering it up actively since then. So it could be that Vance isn't even aware of the original conspiracy.
But see, that goes back to they're not evil, it wasn't on purpose, they're not the baddies. Because unintentional cover-up is not the same. You can't, So that's what we said early on. That's interesting if they did cause it accidentally. But I just don't see how them being the baddies makes any sense. They ruined their entire society. I mean, it's not a good thing what happened.
Well, they could have been trying to squash an enemy by doing some kind of weird experiment that did go wrong and just screwed up all dilithium everywhere. So they were going against Federation ideals that the member worlds wouldn't have agreed to by trying to destroy this other. There's a lot of things that could happen there, but it's all cover up, and Section 31 will be behind everything, and that'll be the whole thing.
But it's still a very, very big leap, I think, to have them be the baddies.
Judge 1991, $5. The burn is sort of like the Philadelphia experiment gone bad. Very, very bad.
And I'm okay with them causing it.
I skipped the super chat. Sorry. Finley Russell, £2. Sorry. Do you think Discovery is bad, good, and why? Bad or good?
Show quality.
The first season and second season, most of it, were really piss poor writing and changing directions midstream instead of having an overarching plan for the whole season. So season 3 is definitely improved. It's better than it was for season 1 and 2. Season 1 and 2 it wasn't that great, but we're along for the ride, and they are improving. So kudos to them.
Yeah, I will always say to Star Trek fans, skip season 1. It's just not worth it. There's so little good. Season 2, watch maybe 2 or 3 episodes, but it's full of plot holes, and they didn't know what they were doing, and you can see. But there's some good bits. Just it's not a good overall season. As we said before, if the setup's good and the payoff's bad, that makes the setup less good. This is the best season so far, hands down. And even if it ruins it by the end, they've had 5 in a row of good episodes. And nothing to take that away from them. Season 2 didn't have 5 in a row. It really didn't. Season 1 had 2 in a row. The first 2 mirror universe ones, and it fell down a hole. And those 2 are more like, we were excited to see the potential. Because we were all like, oh, we're going to see the Connie, we're going to see the Defiant, we're going to see, all the things it could have been is what we were looking at, rather than what actually were being given,
Yeah.
No, this new team, or the same team with the new showrunner telling them different things, or the fact that now the licenses are all together. There's no more CBS and Paramount. There's now just CBS Paramount. Maybe that makes it easier.
Possibly.
The fact they're using all the old races more interestingly. We've seen Trill. They're not inventing new races left, right, and centre. We're seeing all the old ones being used interestingly. That helps. So, a throwaway Bajoran character that gets killed, it's more interesting if it's Bajoran. Doesn't add anything particularly, but it's not just like it's random aliens, like Star Trek Beyond. We made 50 new aliens, and I don't care about any of them. Sorry. Okay, that one lady with a head, fine, that's a crab. But if they'd used 50 aliens from Trek, it would be like, oh my god, this is brilliant. But they they use the universe. Why would you invent 50 new aliens? Because you want to get royalties? Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, pretty much. Joshua.
But Stuart, those toys didn't sell. They didn't make any money.
Joshua 11345, $5. Would be cool if Pike shows up to take command of Discovery again in the future. The guy who played Pike is a great Pike. Yeah, he's still alive on Talos 4 because you can be immortal there, I guess.
That's funny. That would be funny, actually.
And they found a way to fix him so that he can leave the planet now.
Oh, that would be hilarious, actually, wouldn't it?
Oh.
That would be really, because that'd be a hell of a leap. But ooh. That'd be funny, because that's. I would be fine with though if we meet Lieutenant Jonathan Pike, his 55th grandfather, same actor. I would be fine with that. It's so far away. Having double dip, and he's more of a science guy. I don't know, having be a different personality. That'd be fine. I'd be all fine with Anderson coming back. He did kind of steal the show last year. Whereas I think there's not been a single character that's stolen the show this year, but more of them have been brought up, which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this one we get to see more of the other crew.
Fucking bridge crew. Things. Jesus Christ. You keep promising, you keep failing, except Detmer, who, as we both believe, made a bigger fuss and got more of a part.
Yep. Anyway.
Can you imagine being the Reese actor? He's had maybe, 30 lines in 3 years? Seriously. I have to do a super cut of all of his moments on screen time saying anything. It'll be under 5 minutes. And how many days is he on set for? Michael Dorn, he's probably thinking, I may have been there, but at least I got 2 lines an episode for 7 years, and some episodes just to me, and I got double pay because I was in makeup. Can you imagine how bored you'd be? You're in a scene because you've got to be in the background, but you have zero part of the scene. You just got to be there in case you're in shot. How upsetting would that be as an actor?
Well, the thing is, though, you get that you're an actor in Star Trek, you got a golden ticket because you're going to be the rest of your life you're going to conventions. So I'd be happy anyway.
And you know what?
I'm here watching this all happen. I love it.
And you know what? They're not both those guys not bad looking guys. So go to conventions and fans will be like, you guys are good looking. They're like, okay. I didn't say anything, but I look pretty. It's like, yes, you did, I guess. Sorry, tangent.
Fleet Pass Swiftback, $5.
Thank you.
I'm trying to compare dilithium to a real-world application. Best I can come up with are spark plugs. What's the best comparison in the real world? Somebody mentioned the rods for inside a nuclear reactor. They don't power it, but they regulate. I don't know how it works, but anyway, that's a good one. Spark plugs are also good, but
you can make them.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a thing you can't just make.
gas.
Unfortunately, petrol's the best example. It's just not.
But petrol's a power source. That's what makes the thing go.
Or at least it generates an explosion. The explosion is the power source.
That's true.
If you want to be, it's a reaction material. Yeah, it's hard.
Kai L. Wong, 5 pounds.
Thank you.
Maybe species 8472 caused the burn to protect themselves from warp-capable species. They don't need to use dilithium, so they have the advantage. Then why aren't they swarming all over the sector? Or somebody at least mentioned, yeah, there's a big threat. Emerald Chain. Species 847. I mean, the Undine. They're flying around. Yeah.
I'll be honest, if somehow when we got into this season, it was revealed that 8472 is actually taken over the entire Delta Quadrant, and they don't visually reboot them, it's the exact same creature design, but modern CGI, I'd be quite worried. Ooh, shit, that's bad. That's a real threat. 8472, oh no, that's but things they'd do some weird remaster, they would change them too drastically for me to be excited, But I mean, those are still a vicious threat, and yeah, they don't use dilithium. Why would they? Fun.
Well, let's see. Lady Addis throws in $5. Thank you. I feel like the writers are putting themselves into a corner to explain the disaster rather than the crew deal with the future shock. Thoughts? Well, no, because they've planned out this whole season from beginning to end. We've already got confirmation of that. So if they have it all planned out, they're not really writing themselves into a corner. It's not going to be like The Matrix, where they write a really great movie, and then, oh shit, we got to write 2 more. Because they definitely wrote themselves in a corner for that. But I think this is more a case of once we find out the cause of the burn, then we can move on and just enjoy the future. And I wish that was actually the case. I didn't need the burn. I didn't need this whole look into what caused it. I think it's going to be a letdown no matter how it ends. And that's sad. So.
Well, I mean, yes and no. Obviously, potentially yes, hands down. But each episode has been so episodic to the extreme, like TNG to a nutshell almost, that we've still got fully developed individual stories. The burn is just kind of very thin. This is what we're trying to solve, but there's other, you know what I mean? So even with that, we're still getting solid episodes. So they're not. It isn't about. I don't know. It's I think it'll be interesting. A letdown. It depends. It hopefully leads into a grander thing. Isn't a cop out. Isn't too simple. Isn't solvable. Isn't undoable. I mean, this is the first time they could really plan it through, and they've done so many good so far. I think we're truly gonna solve it by the end of the season, and next season will be about embracing the future. But you are right there in a sense of we haven't really gone into the dealing with the issues, because how many people on the ship are not dealing with the burn? How many botanists in Science Bay 4? How many nurses when they aren't got people to deal with? I mean, most people on the ship are not doing anything to do with the burn or the spore drive. They're just doing the daily day. They must be shitting themselves with hating the future in a sense of my family and stuff. This is why you need the bridge crew. This is why you need the people. What is a washcom doing if not firing weapons at any given point? Nothing. She's not doing anything. So you needed scenes talking to these people, having interactions, because that was just. It's remarkable they haven't done that. It's really, really remarkable, and you've had time every single episode to do that. But that's every season. Never focus on those characters. Never give them time to breathe. So it's weird, but the episodes are also strong in their own way. So it's kind of a hard thing to be annoyed at when you're still being given good content. But yeah, I mean they've kind of already got over the future shock, which is weird. Although maybe wearing the old uniforms is part of the treatment.
Wearing your uniforms. Anywho, Fleet Pass Swiftback, $2. Yeah, I had a brain fart, Cap. Sorry, no problem. Dreamer out there, $5. What if the writers' plan for the season is to eventually take down the corrupt Federation and make a new one with Burnham as the new Zeph from Cochrane? Well, that's the problem. Discovery is going to be the ones that reunite the Federation, regardless of whether Starfleet's good or bad at this point, because they have the Spore Tech, and I think the Spore Tech is going to be fitted into other ships of the fleet, and that's going to become the new way of transport. So Discovery is going to be, it's very much like Andromeda, bringing the Commonwealth back together, bringing the Federation back together. Um, but Burnham as the new Zephyr Cochrane, I don't think that's a good analogy. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I think sport tech is the way of the future travel now. So I can see that becoming a thing.
I mean, I could definitely see. We talked about the end of the season. It'd be kind of fun, yeah, if we had a scene at the end where the Voyager A or Voyager J spore drives in at the end, and it's like, you know, we get a new bridge, we get a new captain. Maybe it's a descendant of somebody, because why not? You know, we just haven't met them yet. Or even, well, no, it could just be Vance. I mean, that's fine. He warps in, or he spores in, and they're like, oh, Discovery, we're here to back you up. Vance? Yes, we got it working. It was quite easy. What? Without stamets? Yeah, it was easy. What do you want? Like, this is the future, guys.
We have a tardigrade as a member of the Federation.
Yeah, he's
Ripper. Hey, hi guys. I'm still here.
Is Captain Blipnor. He's been a captain for 15 years. Like, he makes the best shrimp in the quadrant. Yeah. But that could be fun. That could be really have a spore drive at the end and then show. Yeah, yep. It's kind of a fun reveal. Like, yeah, we can actively give other ships. I mean, it's a bit easy, but you know what? Yeah, I can see that.
Hezraz, $7. Thank you. Maybe Vadrash are the renamed Federation mentioned by Daniels in Enterprise. The Federation is a faction or imposter, a red herring. That's very interesting. And I would like that kind of underlying story, actually. But the problem is I like Vance so much. I don't want him to be a bad guy. So anything that points towards that is a no from me, because I like Vance.
Besides, everyone's been so professional and good so far. There's no indication that anyone's doing dodgy things, and you would think they would want to put some hints. There hasn't been any.
Well, there have been hints. No mention of Sahil. Poor bastard. Go help that man.
Yeah.
That's a hint. They don't want to help him. She's mentioned it many times, and he's
Stop
like,
mentioning him, Stuart. It makes me sad every time you do.
Everybody loved him. If something bad happens to Sahil, we riot. That was what everybody was saying. So,
hashtag
bring his name up in every review.
At least send him a uniform, you know? At least send him a uniform, you know? Let's just spore him in one uniform and a badge and say, and a little note saying, you did it. It's like, I mean, I'd prefer a lift. No? I've been alone for 35 years. I want friends, please. But guys, just so you all know, we only need, obviously more is good, 35 more bucks, and we've hit our beautiful green line, which we did on Monday as well, which is great. So I want to say $35. Put in some fives now. We're almost into the trailer. It's been a really good discussion. We're almost into the live as well, but there's still a bit more to go. And at least another 17 more likes. We're doing great, guys. And yes, Ninja Chris, they are been filming for several weeks. Or like 3 weeks. Yes. So Discovery 4 is happening, is going. Huzzah.
Which is weird because they're filming in Toronto, and Toronto is now on another lockdown because they had so many cases of COVID. So I don't know how the lockdown is affecting them. But
what if they go into a bubble, etc.? You know, like if no one on set had it, and no one knew on set had it. I mean, you know. Yeah. Like, you know.
Eugene, 100 rubles. Burnham as new Wesley Crusher.
Well,
Shut up, Burnham.
Surely. Yeah. I can only watch Friends so many times. That's funny. So then, yeah, we get this cloud of creatures. We get Book a new sort of uniformy looking thing, or like a costume. The guy in the which I think, like I say, is the I think it's probably a flashback to introducing the character, the Emerald Chain, like how she got into power. She was brutalized and killed loads of people into. Like, this is the ex-leader of the Emerald Chain. He's like in a cage in her throne room on a ship, and she's like, every time she gets pissed off, she, you know, visits him. Although, wow, are those gloves? Are those gloves with nails? Or are they black hands because it's a new alien race?
No, it's green hand for sure. It's an Orion hand.
Just looks real black. Yeah, there's a little bit of hint in green, but it looks really
No,
black though.
it's just green with dark lighting. Yeah, I think it's probably the lady that's on the view screen,
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh, yeah. So impractical, those nails. So impractical. And then you get the ship. I think you can see that there's so many guns. You can see gun turrets, kind of like classic modern military, which is a bit of a backstep. But I mean,
which is what they're shooting at the planet, which falls into the next frames where they're getting attacked from above.
Which I can't imagine it's the same. Sorry, those
It
blasts.
will be. I guarantee you.
Oh.
But that ship looks so Star Wars, man. It looks like a different variant of the Star Destroyer.
But with a poor texturing and model detail of Discovery. Because Star Wars would not let a ship be that basic. Do you see the Mandalorian, how detailed those bloody Imperial ships were? Gorgeous! Gorgeous! This ship ain't no ship from Star Wars. It looks... although it's got so many shimmering bits. I wonder if that's the programmable matter repairing. I wonder if that's battle damage that it sustained from the Discovery. And now it's repairing them as it goes.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I think that's just like detail for the sake of detail. Like windows or some stupid shit. I don't know.
Okay. Because even around the guns. Like, random.
I know.
It's really weird.
I know. Kit 82 puts in 2 pounds. Can we finally please see a space battle? Yes, for the love of God. Mm-hmm. I totally second that, and not one that's like spore jumping all around the ship. I just want to see a space battle, just a space battle. That's it.
With
just
beams.
Yes.
Phaser beams, and not like the shitty Discovery end of season
2. End of season 2.
Yeah, end of season 2. Those I mean, if you watch the space battle, just go, and every ship stays still. Like at least the Orville space battle was epic because everything moved, you know.
And Jim Reddington says, "How much of the prediction shows have been on the money?"
We've got a lot right.
Yeah, we don't get everything right, obviously, each episode, but we definitely nail things that are coming up, and even specific scenes and stuff. We kind of call out some of them.
And I predicted Spock's video appearance, and you were not convinced by that. You didn't say no, but you weren't like sold on that idea. But I convinced.
I didn't want them to. That's why I wasn't.
It was done well though.
It was
done like a Lower Decks cameo rather than a Discovery cameo. It's like, oh, properly done. But we get a lot right. I mean, those episodes obviously have it more in the trailers. This is really abstract, which I like. I actually kind of like it. The more we talk about this, I'm more excited. I'll be honest. That'd be kind of a question I'll ask at the end. Well, I do think it's fighters that are attacking them. I'll say that now. I think they launched some fighters and they're attacking them, and then Discovery shoots the big ship and the book ship comes down and attacks the fighters. I think we're going to see, because I could not imagine it's like the orbital ship. That'd be so stupid.
And Hezraz says, a few actually. I have been surprised with the predictions for this season. Some are almost spot on. Well, thank you, Hezraz.
Well,
And you guys help. You
Yeah.
guys in chat, super chats, you get us talking about what you guys think as well. So it always leads to new conversation.
So. Well, Hezraz, can you remember what we predicted? Like the Spock thing, I remember we predicted. What do you remember we predicted specifically? Because you guys obviously watch it differently. We just say shit, but you guys listen to it, so you take it in more. What did we say that was right? Because we got a lot right, and it'd be fun to definitely go back, especially at the earliest episodes, because they have no context the rest of the season, and we guessed a load of stuff.
So Fleet Pause says, Trekyards did predict Tilly becoming the XO, unfortunately. The Titan appearing on lower decks, Picard dying and being resurrected in Picard.
Cool.
So there's probably more. There's a lot more. Because every time we do a review on Friday, it's like, you called that, or I called that. There's always one or two moments,
I mean, not as if some are hard to predict, you know? But that's why my Spock one was like a really outlet. I was like, I'm gonna go what I would do, but they're better at doing logical fan what we would do moments, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get the thing at the end. Although they're in matching out. Actually, another note: these T'Book and Burner are in matching outfits, which matches the guy that they crossbow or arrow. So
they're undercover.
They're undercover. See, because we kept going past it being Sanctuary, so it's a Sanctuary planet. Something's going on here. They go undercover, or they're saying hi. I think it's less actiony than we think. I think it's going to be absolutely more... Because that's weird. Why are they in the same outfit?
Don't know. Chili Bina, though, says Trekyards, all the ship repairs and then retrofit for Discovery after crashing, and then called the right episode for the refit. There you go.
Yes, I was happy about that.
List of Jericho says, are they on Pavo? I don't think so. Unless Pavo is one of the Sanctuary planets. Because Sanctuary 4, I think, was the one that he took the first transworm to. So there's different... And this one's episode is called Sanctuary. So...
Yeah. And obviously, Book's going to use his mental organic power again. So that links directly into his creature stuff. And, I mean, he was last week was having... he wants to save Burnham, but has no purpose there. So I can see if maybe there's a scene where he's like chatting to people on a ship using long-range communications, and he gets a signal saying, "Hey," because I could see, I don't know, because if they're not busy, quote unquote, or when would Discovery not be busy, would they let Burnham go off and do her own submission if they're not busy? Because she's no longer as important to the ship, but she's also the one that solves everything. And I'm sure they would recognise that she's the one that solves everything, so you should always keep her on board.
Well, yeah, like they can't go a day without her being around unless she buggers off on her own. Because otherwise, everything will just fall apart. Yeah. Erevic Sonder throws in $2. Why aren't any of the crew wanting to go back? I'm sure some of them are, but we don't care because we don't want to talk to them.
Well, as in the writers. They don't care, because I would assume at least half of them would rather be in the past, with their family. How many of this crew had kids that they left? Serious question.
Probably none, because the Starfleet crew are usually younger. They usually do their career before the family, especially in this era. It's not TNG era.
Yeah, I guess.
282 viewers with 245 likes. Can we get 5 more likes to get to 250? That's like the last goal. And also, we need another $26. Sorry, my brain's broken today.
But we're doing well. We're almost at the end there. Although Richard says, isn't this the planet supposed to be Book's homeworld? Not sure why it would be. Not sure where everyone got that from. And Book's homeworld would be in the Beta Quadrant or a different quadrant. So, long way to go. And since they can't send a signal to that quadrant, how would Book get a signal from that quadrant? I guess you could say, again, they were fixing relays, but why would that... No, it doesn't make sense. Unless, obviously, he was from the Alpha Quadrant and got taken as a child, but he never mentioned that. Not that he has had that much screen time. But
you always say Beta Quadrant, but Beta Quadrant and Alpha Quadrant, they're both in the Star Trek Online map. So we're both in the Alpha and Beta Quadrants.
Well, sure. But the quadrants are big.
Yes, I know. So just say Gamma or Delta Quadrant. That means it's farther away.
Yeah. But with warp being limited, it would still take you months and years. And since Burnham chose not to go to Earth because it was too far away, that tells you that she's not going to spend 10 years to warp somewhere, etc., etc.
Well, we hit 254 likes. Awesome. Oh. And Clown Avenger. I can't click like again. I'm giving it all I got. That's good.
Well, Clown Avenger, you've got 16 minutes to make new YouTube accounts, and then you can click like again. I mean...
That's cheating. Don't do that.
Well, I mean, can you do Clown Avenger 1 at hotmail.com, Clown Avenger 2 at hotmail.com, Clown Avenger 3 at... I'm just saying!
We're not... The opinions expressed by Samuel are not the opinions. Anyway, Judge 1981 throws in $2, quote of the day. We just say shit, Commander. Yeah.
I mean, we do have a lot of theories, but what's great about what we do is that we really talk this thing through and really connect things. And so as we go further, we put a lot of these puzzle pieces together. So obviously we're going to get more theoretically accurate as we go. So yeah, guys, final super chats. We only need another $21.07 likes. Well, I'd rather have 12 likes. Yeah.
And Dot came up to say hi. Yeah. So she doesn't really like the camera, but there's Dot. She came up to say hi to me, but I put her in the camera. Fleet Pause Swiftback, $2. 255 likes. F to the 300? Yeah, I'm sure we could probably hit 300 if everybody hits that like button. That'd be awesome. Kit 82, £2. How long will it be till we see another crew death? Oh, I don't know. Probably the last episode of the season.
Ooh, calling it Voyager's new captain will be the Doctor. That's an interesting one.
That was the next super chat. Designer Core, $2.
Sorry. I was interested. You know what? That could be incredible, actually. Rob Picardo as the Voyager J captain.
Well, he's silent witness.
That could be, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's actually really kind of great. I mean, we had 7 in... we had fan favorite 7 of 9 back, and we could literally have fan favorite Doctor. And not that Rob Picardo wants to play the older EMH, but yeah, I mean, if he lived through 800 years of just, or 500 years of just flying through the galaxy to get back to Earth, he will have matured, done his own program, be a different character. That could be really fun, actually. And how amazing, like, that would be basically the same thing as Riker appearing in Picard and Lower Decks, Voyager J sporing in, and the EMH there is like, please state the nature of the emergency. Arm quantums! You know, no, hold on. What's the weapon called? It's the, arm the photonic cannon! I finally got one! Fire!
We need him to come in and say, please state the nature of the Star Trek emergency. Well, this show Discovery's kind of been shit for a while. Can you fix it?
Well, Picardo did say he was in talks to be in one of the shows. Actually was in talks to be in one of the shows. Was that Picard season 2, I guess?
Probably going to be Picard, would be my guess. But
he was actually, he was in talks with one. So, that could have been, given the timeline of things being released. That would be fun. And you could literally have Picardo in both shows, just as 2 different versions of the EMH or Zimmerman. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, weird.
Space thing.
Weird, but cool.
Space thing, $5. The Orion Syndicate will fight to keep Discovery from resolving the burn as they stand to lose influence and power to the Federation.
Do they? Well,
not really. The lithium's destroyed, so if they're responsible for the burn, sure, they might take some heat and be a target of the Federation, I guess. But
I guess
they're still going to have their marketplaces and stuff.
And they've got all the dilithium, in terms of they can sell it, use it, and run it. I guess, though, if the Federation suddenly gets spore drive ships in every ship, then they can have confidence to build the fleet up. So I guess it's more a case of, but I'm absolutely fine with them, well, it wouldn't make sense to bump into them, but, track the Discovery down. I mean, this is the mega... If you can go through to all time and space, of course you can track down a ship. If you're going to take the cloaked ship from across the galaxy through your own space, of course you can detect the Discovery, etc., as in Discovery Season 1, that silly line.
Fleet Pass Swiftback, $5. The Jeffries Tube Monster's little sister. Take my money for doggo treats. Thank you. Chili Beana, $2 for Dot. Dreamer out there, $2 for Dot. Dot, you're popular. People love you. Mark Lawrence, President, $5. Please state the nature of the tactical emergency. And Emma Baker, $5. Great stream, thanks. Well, thank you, Emma, for joining us. You guys have been great today.
I was a bit worried we weren't going to get the numbers up, but we did. And we just had a great conversation. You guys have had really, really good thoughts. Really helped bounce us around. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of half the stuff you guys said. So I think we need to have some cutthroat last super chat slot. I think, we're down to only a few more predictions. I want to see a slew of $1. I'm going to say a couple minutes on the clock. I want to see a bombardment of $1.
Well, Emma's the winner right now. She's got the last super chat slot, so we'll see if anybody is interested.
I'm going to do a timer so people know, because then it's like an eBay auction,
Well, Andrew Parent throws in $1. There we go. We've got the first sniper.
Okay. Stuart, give me a timer. How many seconds or minutes for a timer to make it dramatic? What's a good
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay.
Emma Baker, $2. Last. See, she really wants that last slot.
I mean, it's a well recognized slot.
Andrew Parent, $1.
Yeah.
He's just sitting up there on the hilltop.
Oh, that's 3 seconds. Yeah. Well, it's like how many of you snipers using the replicable matter bows or arrows, And I'm also going to click the button end at 3 minutes, guys, just so you guys know this is the official 2 minutes 48 seconds, and there's about a 6-second stream delay. I will click the button at the end of this, so we got to make sure we say bye at the same time, Stuart.
Okay.
Yeah. Hope you guys had fun. I had fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm excited about it. I think
More
the
than when we
George.
start, I think.
Yeah,
I'd say.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Georgiou's plot line is going to be more important than it seems in this trailer. Like I thought that would be more of what we'd be talking about here, but we really went off on the burn cause. But that's okay.
Well, you know,
Chili
you had
Vina.
some great ideas though. Like I can't, you had some really, really strong ideas I didn't even think of. So I'm happy to say it's one of those. You know, in a sense.
Chili Vina, $2 with a little dancing
Ooh,
pear.
the
Mike
pair.
Shapiro, $3. Judge
Ooh,
1981, $1 with
ooh.
a hundred sticker thingy. Um, Emma, I'm sorry, unless you want to snipe at the end. I'm delayed here on the feed, so I got 2 minutes and 2 seconds left on
Okay,
there.
so
But
you're 10 seconds off. Until the stream's 10 seconds. Although I love Chris Hunt Hughes. Is Discovery replacement Captain still waiting on Vulcan? Oh. What happened to that
we
guy?
forgot all about that. That was forever ago.
There was an official captain that was about to get the fastest ship in the fleet, and yet he's just
Still standing there with his suitcases. He was probably on Navarre. We're changing the name, now they'll never find me. Well, look, there they are. Guys.
I put myself in cryostasis. I waited every night for 1 minute just in case. Gosh. Oh yeah, Raj, I want to see the Talaxians join the Federation and be part of the show. That's great. I'd love to see Talaxian. That'd be cool. I mean, hey, have some Herodian, have some Talaxian, have some Vaudois. You know, you really challenge the makeup department because that's a heavy makeup. But at 58 seconds, Stuart, say your final "We love you" goodbyes.
We love you guys. Goodbye. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for my first reaction to this at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Friday, of course, our full review and breakdown, which will be released in the afternoon as an edited one. And then we have a live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where we break it down scene by scene and really get into the meat of the matter. So make sure you tune in for those.
Unless it's genuinely a big one to talk about that we have a sense it might be, then we'll start an hour earlier. But we'll let you know ahead of time.
Yes.
Because that totally depends on the episode. Yes or no, Stuart? Will this be a bigger episode than we think? Yes or no?
Yes.
Will we find out the cause of the burn? The actual cause?
Yes.
Ooh. I'm going to hopefully say no. But yes, the source. All right. 10
Andrew
seconds. 9.
Oh, Fleet Paw Swift back $2. Snipe by
7.
Fleet Paw, Evil left.
6.
Andrew Parents.
5. 4. 3.
123.
2.